Hello. Thank you so much for your interest in Harnett County Schools. We're so glad that you're considering a career in teaching. I'm going to talk to you briefly right now about what's sometimes referred to as sort of the back door into teaching. It used to be called lateral entry, but as of this year, it's now referred to as residency. I'm going to give you some information about the residency program, which is a way for you to become a teacher right away, to go to work teaching kids in one of our K-12 classrooms and work on becoming fully certified over a 1 to 3 year period while you're teaching and making money. So let's get started. So what is a residency license? Well, a residency license is an alternative license. It's for people who did not go to school to be a teacher, but who have a 4-year degree in something. The residency license is a 1-year teaching license that's renewable 2 times. So there's a maximum of 3 years that a teacher can teach with this license. During that time, you would need to be working on coursework and or testing requirements for your teaching area while you are employed full-time teaching students. Again, you can teach on a residency license for a maximum of 3 years. Now, who qualifies for a residency license? The holder must first enroll in what we call an educator preparation program, or EPP. You'll hear us say a lot. These are college and university programs that have been created all over the state of North Carolina in order to help get teachers fully licensed faster. Now, local schools such as Methodist University and Campbell University have these. Some of the programs around the state are face-to-face, and some of them, such as ECU, are offered online. There are many EPPs to choose from. You must also hold a bachelor's degree from an accredited 4-year college or university. Now, an associate's degree from a community college will not work for the residency program. It must be a bachelor's degree. You must also have at least a 2.7 cumulative GPA for your undergraduate coursework. It would ultimately, however, be up to the individual EPPs about the GPA requirement. If you have a GPA lower than 2.7, we can talk about your possible options. There are also coursework requirements for eligibility in different grade and subject areas. We can look at your transcripts for you and let you know what you qualify to teach. You can also qualify for the residency program by taking and passing the required Praxis and or Pearson content area exam for the grade and subject that you want to teach. Now, finally, you must also meet all of the requirements established by the state board, including any pre-service requirements, which we can talk about more during your interview. So what needs to be done first? This sounds like something that you want to do. Well, first of all, you must meet all of the eligibility requirements that I talked about on the previous slide. And then you need to apply for a job. If you haven't already done so, you will need to go to Harnett County Schools website and fill out an application on our Frontline Apple Track system. Once you find out what you are eligible to teach, you will need to go ahead and reach out to principals of schools where there is a matching vacancy. That is, that they have an open position that you have been pre-approved to teach through the residency program. Now, back to the Frontline application system. You will need to get started on this right away because it will take you a while to get everything completed and all of the required documents uploaded into the electronic, along with the electronic application. Necessary documents include official dated transcripts of all undergraduate and maybe graduate coursework, passing scores for any teaching exams that you may have attempted, and proof of enrollment in an appropriate EPP. Now, those two things are sort of concurrent and go together. You need to be accepted into the EPP and offered a job with Harnett County Schools at the same time. Many of the EPPs have what we call rolling enrollment, where you can apply at any time. So you'll need to talk to the folks at the university who are in charge of the EPP, and you'll need to talk to us in human resources at the same time. And we can all work together to get your documentation completed that you need to officially apply for your residency license. So there has to be a job offer. You can't just be residency by yourself. The EPP will not accept you unless they know that there's a job offer. Also, Harnett County cannot hire you unless we know that you're enrolled in the EPP. So these two things are concurrent. They go together. We can talk one-on-one and answer any questions that you might have about this process during your preliminary interview, which we hope that you've signed up for. If not, I'll tell you how to sign up at the end of this presentation. All right, so if you go to work with a residency license in one of our schools, we understand that you did not go to school to be a teacher. So we know that you will need a lot of support, which we are very happy to provide. Every school in our district is assigned a recruitment and retention coach. I am one of the 4 that we have in Harnett County Schools. We are very happy to help you as much as needed during your first 3 years of teaching. We'll drop in on you from time to time to see how you are doing. We're glad to provide formal and informal feedback to you in a timely fashion. We can coach and mentor you by assisting you with planning lessons and or with classroom management, among other things. Finally, we're glad to assist you with the steps of the licensure process. Licensure changes all the time, and it can be a very complex process, even in good circumstances. So we're happy to answer your licensure questions during your residency years. We will also remind you of licensure deadlines and just support you in general with the entire process. Now, as a beginning teacher, or BT we like to call them, you will also be assigned a mentor in your school. Every school also has an instructional coach that can assist you with the curriculum. Harnett County also offers lots of professional development training workshops throughout the year. Finally, residency teachers especially are given the opportunity to observe some of our rock star master veteran teachers in Harnett County. If you accept a position while the school year is already underway, we will probably send you to observe a successful veteran teacher for at least 2 days before you assume command of your classroom independently. We'll also work with you doing some one-on-one training for a few days before you take over your class, so we don't just leave you alone with the children. We will give you some training, and then we'll come back and check on you after that. So you'll have lots of support. There's lots of support in this district for residency teachers, and I haven't even touched on all of it. Let's talk very quickly about converting your residency license to a clear continuing teacher license like seasoned veteran teachers have. It's very important to understand that in licensure, 1 year does not necessarily equal 12 months. We need to think about the years in terms of school years. So if you are employed now, for example, your first year will be up in June. And that's only 8 months away. Then you'll have 2 additional school years, but not really, because you'll need to complete all requirements by around March of your 3rd school year. So think about it as being school years, not 12-month calendar years when we talk about the 3 years. Now, March of the 3rd year is when we're going to start thinking about contracts for the upcoming year after that. So about around March of your 3rd year, if not sooner, you will need to have completed all coursework that was outlined in your plan of study from your EPP. You will also need to attempt and pass any required praxis or Pearson teaching exams for your grade and subject areas by around March of that 3rd year, if not much sooner. Now, it's very important that you have everything completed before that 3rd year ends. We cannot extend a residency license for a 4th year. Ms. Thompson likes to say that in life, almost everything comes with a potential extension, but not this. If your 3rd year ends and you still need coursework or testing, we will not be able to renew your contract. The years go by fast. So it's very important to knock out the coursework and testing as soon as you are possibly able to do so. So, if you want to do this, what are the next steps? Well, first of all, we need to determine if you are eligible for a residency license, and if so, in which areas. Now, we'll be glad to evaluate your transcripts for you during your preliminary interview and let you know what you're qualified to teach. After we tell you what you're qualified to teach, you'll need to simultaneously begin researching EPP programs and reaching out to colleges and universities while you search for a job. You'll need to go ahead now and start working on your Frontline online application on our website and uploading all required documents. We will help you as much as needed, especially with trying to figure out which positions you might be eligible to teach. Again, please be reminded that you must be hired first before we can apply for your residency license. Harnett County will apply for the license for you and with you after you've been offered a job and accepted into an EPP. Then we will issue you a residency license for one school fiscal year. Again, not good for 12 calendar months necessarily, because if you go to work over the next few weeks, this first year will count, and your first year license will expire in June of 2020. Your residency license may be extended for 2 years if you're meeting all requirements along the way. So the university will let us know if you're good to be extended for your year 2 and or 3 if needed. Now, if you do not complete your coursework and testing by the end of year 3, again, you will be ineligible for a recommendation for a continuing teacher license in the state of North Carolina, and we would not be able to invite you back for year 4. So very, very important that you get everything done on time. These years go by fast, I promise you. I was lateral entry, which is what this program used to be called, and I believe I had everything finished by the end of my 2nd year. So it can be done. It's a lot, but there's also a lot of support both from the universities and from human resources here in Harnett County Schools. So I know I just threw a lot of information at you, so I'm sure you'll have questions, which we'll be delighted to answer. So if you have not already registered for a preliminary interview, we hope you will do so. To claim a slot, please call 910-893-8151 and ask for extension 266. Ms. Connie Laborse will be glad to assist you. Don't forget to bring your transcripts with you to the interview. We look forward to meeting you, and we are so glad that you are interested in a career with Harnett County Schools, where we inspire learners to be leaders. Thank you, and we hope to see you very soon.